Coming next, the unfortunate case of Westview Centennial Collegiate. We'll be joined by Westview's coach, whose talented basketball team has been virtually blackballed from local tournaments. And we'll talk with Toronto basketball organizer Marv Pearl, who did not invite Westview to his most prestigious tournament. The team from the school with the bad rep, Westview Centennial, the team nobody wants to invite to a tournament, the team that continues to pay a price for an ugly incident last November. We are joined now by Westview coach John Stewart. John, would we call your team and your players innocent victims of this violence that is finding its way into high school gymnasiums?
Well, I'd say that really we are perfect examples of an innocent victim, where actions of people that aren't in our control or even sometimes in our school's control have somehow worked against the kids who give 5 months of time to do the best they can in basketball and to be whatever they could be. And it's been very difficult for us to work through this year.
Now, the biggest problems you face are what? Not being able to go to tournaments, not being seen by those who might be able to help these guys carry on in their sport and their education?
Yeah, high school basketball is big time, especially in our area. You get better as a team every tournament you go to, and literally we were restricted to basically 2 tournaments. We had to drive down to Sarnia and out to Ottawa this year, both weekend tournaments, and really the kids are coming up against teams that every weekend are going to a tournament and at the end of the weekend are a better team and have come closer together, and we had to fight against that. And literally we've got kids who could have their college education paid for because of the talent that they have, and they're not being showcased with their talent. And that's tough to explain to the kids when they come out at 7:30 in the morning for a practice that we're working against this.
What have you tried to do about it, or is there anything you can do about it?
Well, we've asked, we've begged to get into tournaments, and many times our phone calls aren't even returned. We don't even get the courtesy of a return call. It's like there is an unspoken word out there that if you call Westview, you could be in for trouble, and very, very unfair. We haven't had any trouble at any of our games or any game that we've played this year. We haven't had any incidences at all, and an early season incident appears to have worked against us the entire season, right up into the playoffs.
This seems to be like European soccer, where the teams pay for the fans' behavior, and I don't know how else you try to protect spectators who don't want to get involved in this from those who do. Are you saying that the incident that we all know about should not follow you around this long?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, even people who are guilty of something somehow and at some time are given a second chance to show that things are different or things are better. And a lot of what followed us around this year was hearsay, and a lot of initial impressions on what happened have been turned around by various articles and various interviews to show that perhaps if there is blame, it certainly could have been spread around to a few other people. What we do in our school is that we take steps to protect teams and events that are going on, and we don't let anybody come in without knowing who they are. And when we go to another school, an administrator from our school goes to that event to make sure that anybody who claims to be from our district or from our school is indeed from where they say they are, so that there aren't strangers, unknowns to us, coming into our events or accompanying us to other events. And I think it's a matter of a little bit of foresight or a little bit of looking ahead to see what actions can be taken to prevent. I think preventative action in Metro Toronto these days is certainly part of what has to be done to make sure that events go off as they should.
Well, ultimately, I guess if the label doesn't get removed somehow, the whole basketball program can go down the drain, because kids that want to play basketball may not be winding up going to Westview if they have a choice.
Well, this is a problem, isn't it, where this district produces a lot of fine basketball players, and these basketball players can come to Westview and get some of the best coaching in Metro Toronto. We had a young man by the name of John Smith this year who brought a team right into the Tri-City playoffs, knocking off established teams. He's done a wonderful job with this program, And every kid in our neighborhood should expect to come to this school and take advantage of really good coaching and good opportunities to go on to bigger and better things in their college and university days. They shouldn't have to take a bus downtown to get into somebody else's program who, I mean, what happens if somebody comes in and causes a ruckus at one of their games? Does their program fall by the wayside? I don't think that this should be happening. And I don't think that this label should stick with this school any longer, because we're doing our best, and as I said, there aren't incidences happening at Westview. This is not happening at our school, and this did not happen at any other game that we played or tournament that we played this year.
John, thanks for talking with us.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
If you're a good team or you want to get better, you want to go to top flight tournaments. If you're organizing one of those events, you want to keep this kind of trouble as far away as possible, and you stress the fact that yours is an invitational tournament. Toronto high school basketballers come together every year for a big tournament at Jarvis Collegiate. Its convener is Marv Pearl. Marv, you run a big-time tournament well known in the Toronto area. What steps have you taken, what steps must you take to ensure that violence does not become part of it?
Well, increasingly, the last decade, we've had to make sure that we've had proper security. In other words, a police presence, or lately a security firm, which we've been very pleased with. Other than that, it's difficult. I mean, if you can go the whole route and warn and search and restrict people, but we haven't done that so far. Maybe that time will come, which by then I'll probably say that's enough.
John Stewart at Westview says restricting teams is too much for him. He thinks that his team has been unfairly singled out and excluded from certain events. Do you agree or not?
That's probably true. It's very unfortunate that this could happen to a school and a team, and it's basically the followers and probably not students, but people. I can see both sides, but on the other side of the coin, you want to eliminate or reduce the possibilities. And I mean, that's not the only school. It's over the decades, there's always been a school or two which you're a little leery about.
If it has happened this way and you have not allowed a school or not invited a school that might otherwise think it belongs there, do you have to defend yourself, or is it up to you to decide who you want and who you don't want? It doesn't matter why you make that decision.
The latter assumption is correct. It is an invitational, and we can invite who we want. I happen to take, the teams that do apply. They talk to me and they ask to get in, but basically it's our option.
But would you defend your choice based on incidents that have happened in the past elsewhere, or fears that they might happen again?
Well, if I'm called upon, and sometimes it is questioned, and I say, hey, look at, we've got maybe 800, 900 people here, and we have to have a safe environment, and our Coaches Association are constantly looking for ways to just make situations better, and so we're well versed and well aware of what should be done and how to avoid these problems, and one of them is you don't have people in the school that are going to cause problems.
Can we call it zero tolerance? Can one incident be used in effect forever to label a school, or in Westview's case, should somebody take another look and decide whether they should be more acceptable now than they have been in the past?
Well, zero tolerance is coming from a standpoint of any problems, and there's no second chances. As far as a school being restricted forever and ever, and that's ridiculous, because not only do the players change, but even coaches change, and students and fans, there's a turnover quite regularly, so it'd be unfair to do that. And it's easy to clean up problems if it happens to emanate from the school or from a team. I mean, all it takes is the coach with the personality that will say, hey, this is the way it's going to be, fellas, and you can eliminate it in one season. I've seen turnarounds, and so teams can get back on, shall we say, the good sides of the tournament directors.
Marv, do you see any one reason more important than others for the fact that this is occurring and that you're having to deal with this now? As you say, it didn't used to be this way, and it is now. Why?
Well, I'm going to pull a cop out here by saying, look, we just emulate what goes on in society today. And the school is a microcosm of what's happening out on the streets.
Marv, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
The last word is next on TSN Inside Sports.
TSN Inside Sports.
Rowdy fans, the term is used much too loosely, I know. They had a funny way of supporting their teams when they got them suspended, but that is one sure way of keeping hooligans at bay. They can't cause trouble at a soccer match if nobody's playing, though they almost become more powerful if they can have such an effect on games that the games are canceled. Ideally, the games do go on for those who want to and deserve to compete, and for those who want to attend for all the right reasons. And ideally, the troublemakers are discouraged by the presence of heavy security or dealt with severely if they don't discourage easily. But if this was something that could have been prevented by the usual methods, we wouldn't be talking about it. This is something that appears to call for drastic action, and victims, innocent or otherwise, are probably unavoidable. That is the last word for today. Your words are always welcome. We ask that you write to us at 2225 Shepherd Avenue East, Suite 100 in Willowdale, Ontario. Our 24-hour toll-free fax line is 1-800-563-0845. I'm Dave Hodge. We thank you for watching another edition of TSN Inside Sports.